All right. Fantasy football, baby. Week 6. My homie D Nasty is back, but he's not so homie to me right now as we're watching the Cubs against the Brewers. And he's got his good old Brewer hat on, and I don't have my Cubs hat on, but it's a tie game at 3-3. It was real exciting for me at first, but then boom, Brewers three run homer back just like that. And it's a tie game, and they bring on the Mizorowski pitching 104 miles per hour. It's this is gonna be a tough game, bro.
Yeah, it is. I like this is a good series actually. Like I was a little scared after the 3-0 hole again, but just like last game, we came back right away, which is crazy. So this is gonna be a good series for sure. I'm gonna be sweating out this series, I think, till the
Yeah,
end.
yeah. It's like the weird thing about starting. If you drop a game, you give home field or home park advantage to the next team. It's kind of weird. Yet you're up 2-0, you're feeling good, and then all of a sudden you lose 2 on the road. It's back to even Steven. So it's tough, man. This is obviously a football show, but we had to bring up a little baseball, being that both of our teams in the postseason, which is really cool, and playing each other. But here we are, Dave. It's fantasy football, and why don't we hit the bye weeks?
Yeah, it's actually a pretty slow week for the bye weeks this week. Actually, only 2 teams on bye this week, so it's actually not too bad this week. Texans are the one team. C.J. Stroud coming off his best game of the year. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to bench him this week. Nico Collins, another guy you're gonna have to put on your bench. Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, adding them to your bench. Dylan Schultz actually had a pretty good game. He had one of his better fantasy games this week as well. So, but unfortunately, you put them all on your bench this week. The Vikings, we'll talk about Wentz here in a minute, but benching him, though, this week, Jefferson, Addison, who actually had a good game this week, and Jordan Mason, and then TJ Hawkinson as well. So get those guys all on your bench this week. Only 2 buys this week, so you shouldn't have to shuffle around your lineups too much this week.
Yeah, bench him up. Already, Alex Flores. What's up, Alex? Should I trade Chase Brown for Worthy? Well, if you need a receiver, you don't need a running back. Chase Brown is going to be – he's kind of garbagey. Now, the problem with Worthy is he's going to have some bad games too because it's the Chiefs. They will just have low-scoring games and drug it out and run with Hunt and Pacheco the whole game. And like even today, Worthy's got 27 yards, 15 yards. He's got 15 receiving yards, and it's almost the fourth quarter. It's just stick with Chase Brown if you need him. Worthy's a probably borderline wide receiver 2-3. I think I'd liked him more before.
I'd say 2 or at least a 3 probably, because and Rashee Rice is going to be coming back soon too, so you got to keep that in mind. The next couple weeks he'll be coming back. So and they'd like to spread the ball around there a lot. Actually, they got Hollywood Brown, they use Worthy. Worthy is more of a big play guy though too, so he could have his boomer bust weeks for him. So
99-yard pick 6 for Jacksonville. 99
wow,
yards.
Devin Lloyd.
Oh God, there's so many screens. I switched to the Cubs. I should have just put 2 screens on. Oh wow, my God, that is crazy.
That's crazy.
I gotta rewatch.
But yes, so that's a toss-up. It depends on what your bench looks like. I guess it depends on his bench and who he has at running back and receiver right now. So I guess that would determine kind of why I make that trade. If he's weak at running back, or if he's strong at running back, then I would definitely trade for Worthy. If he's strong at running back, he can. Brown is definitely expendable, but if he's
Marvin Harrison instead of Worthy, I mean that's better.
Yes.
That's better. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
yeah,
I definitely like Marvin Harrison a lot better than Worthy. He's the number 1 definitely for the Cardinals, and he's been playing well this year, and he's putting up some nice fantasy numbers too. So yeah, definitely go get Marv for Chase Brown. Yeah, I definitely get Marv.
In Chase Brown, you have to understand that he's not going to get as many carries because they're going to be getting their ass kicked all the time. He'll get a few passes. He's going to be kind of okay, but how many touchdowns do you expect out of this dude?
Probably not a lot this year.
Little Brewers home run, gross.
Who hit it?
William Contreras. And then I was like, oh, get him out of here. All right. Back to football. Right. Key injuries. Amarian Hampton, high ankle sprain. He's on the IL. He's going to miss 4 weeks, my man. Or is it the DL in football?
IR. It's IR.
Right. IL. I'm sitting watching baseball. My brain's still. Yeah. Injured reserve. He's on the 4-week injured reserve. Remember back in the day, it was like when you're on injured reserve, you're done.
You were done for the year.
They're crazy.
I like it now that when they can bring him back.
Much better. And you can go to your farm. Yeah, that's what you want. Chargers O line is shot. By the way, they lost another guy, Mekhi Becton. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you want to be trading someone, I would trade some Chargers. It's looking bad again. These Harbaugh teams always get so injured, man. Saquon Barkley's got knee soreness. He said he's going to play, but it's something to monitor, right, Dave? I would monitor that. Spencer, and there's not a lot of bad injuries, so this is good. I'm like literally talking about a kicker, Spencer Schrader. He's out for the season. Now he's in the kicker on the Colts, so he was definitely getting a lot of extra points and some field goals. So that is probably one of your better kickers that is now out for the season. And Antonio Gibson, which is more of a third string running back, little special teams, use punt return.
He looked good this past week when he was in, but yeah, torn ACL for him. So
yeah, he's done. So I mean, deeper leagues is what you're worried about for that. But Dave, what did I miss?
All right, Kyler Murray actually left the game with a foot injury. He did come back though, so keep an eye on that. Khalif Raymond, the neck injury for the Lions, but he's questionable, so he could play this week. The Marion Hampton injury, Carson Wentz left shoulder injury. He's going to be reevaluated this week, so he might not play this week. So JJ McCarthy might be able to play. I know he was close last week. He was still doubtful last week, though. Otherwise, they're going to have to go to their third string quarterback, though. So we'll talk about that on the pickups here in a minute. Darius Slayton, the hamstring. That's kind of really up in the air. They haven't really said much about him. They said that they're going to be really cautious with him because they're low on receivers right now after the neighbor's injury. So that's someone to keep an eye on as well. But yeah, pretty light week on the injuries, which is good. But definitely we'll go into some pickups though that'll help you fill in for some of these injuries.
Well, yes, let's get into those pickups, Dave. What do you got?
All right. So the one I really like is Hassan Haskins. Actually, I got him in one of my dynasty leagues. I picked him up just on a fly a couple weeks ago. So he's going to be definitely filling in for Hampton. But then the other guy too is Kamani Vidal. So I think Haskins is going to be the early down back. He's going to be kind of the banger, first and second down kind of guy. Kamani Vidal is actually going to be like the third down back, kind of receiving back. So it's going to be really hard to tell who's going to get a majority of the carries. So you can grab either one of them. But Haskins is the guy I'm probably grabbing right now. So he's the guy I really like right now. Kendrick Bourne, wow. That's all I can say. He exploded with Juwan Jennings and pure sellout. He just exploded, man. He had over 100 yards, and he had like over, I think, 12 targets. I think he had like 10 or 11 catches. So,
yeah, amazing. He was huge.
Yeah, he had a great game. And then Mac Jones was looking for him all night, too. So Brashard Smith, just a speculative ad in case Pachenko or Hunt start to struggle. The running game has actually been struggling a little bit, so they might give him a little bit more playing time. With the Tillman injury, Isaiah Bond, I know we talked about him a little bit. He's seen 14 targets in the past 2 games. So just a matter of time before he starts putting up some numbers. And Dylan Gabriel actually looked really good this past week, too. So 2 touchdowns to both his tight ends. But I really like him. I need a quarterback this week. Ryan Flournoy for the Dallas Cowboys. Over 100 yards, 6 grabs, 9 targets, and 114 yards. So if you need wide receiver help, he'll be starting. He's going to get a lot of targets, actually, while CeeDee Lamb is out. 2 tight ends I really like this week. Mason Taylor, since he saw 12 targets in week 5, which is crazy, and he caught 9 of them for 67 yards. He's definitely their go-to guy there. He had 5 catches the week before, so if he's out there, definitely scoop him up. He's available in a ton of leagues right now, too, as well. So he's up-and-coming rookie tight end for the Jets. They're going to be throwing a lot, too, because they're going to be down. That Jets defense is not looking good. So definitely scoop him up if you can. And Theo Johnson, another tight end I like. 2 touchdowns this past week. He's definitely Jackson Dart's one of his favorite targets now with Neighbors out. And he's only been getting more and more targets now, too, as well. But Dart he had a season-high 7 targets this past week. So definitely Dart's go-to guy now.
Okay. I like those. And did you mention Mason Taylor just a second ago?
Yep.
Mason Taylor, 9 targets. Yeah, that was pretty good for him. And I called him out a week or 2 ago, so I was glad about that. One of my bad calls was I thought Lamar was going to play, Dave. We both kind of did, and he didn't. But guess what? It's not like Cooper Rush did anything. If you picked up Cooper Rush, you probably lost in your league. He was terrible. And I don't even know who's behind him, but Jesus, man, this is like the worst contingency plan I've seen for a great team in a long time. You know, I just wait on Lamar, and that's what the Ravens are at now. Yeah, I think Vidal and Haskins, very much a split. Vidal, I think I do agree with you,
tough.
Dave. I think third down can be good for them. And O'Marion Hampton was catching passes, so that's really tough. Michael Carter, he's the man, and I picked him up late last week after the waivers passed.
That's a big one too. Yeah,
I scooped him up in one of the leagues. I can't remember one of ours. And, he's had 18 touches or 18 carries last week. So that was huge. Ricky Dowd.
And a touchdown.
Yeah. Rico Dowdle went off for the Panthers. 206 yards. And he's going to be a great streamer this week, too, because it looks like what's his name ain't coming back? Chuba Hubbard. I think Dowdle is going to be massive this week. Kendry Miller looked good for the Saints, and he's kind of taken over for Kamara a little bit, man.
Yeah, there was like half and half. It was pretty much a split backfield last week, which I was pretty surprised actually. But yeah, they might be phasing Kamara out a little bit or just doing like a split backfield now, which is kind of sucky for fantasy owners. But Miller's been looking really good though, actually. Yeah, definitely. We mentioned him last week as well.
I agree with you on Gabriel. I think he's good this week too. Kendrick Bourne was great, like you said. Ryan Flournoy from the Cowboys. 2 rushes, 10 yards, 6 receptions, 9 targets, 114 yards. Holy cow. He came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden the Cowboys did great. I think he's going to get rewarded throughout the season. He's a pickup, speculative too. So I agree with all that. Moving into sleepers, non-starters trending up for week 6. David Montgomery, probably not starting him too often, but he's borderline, but he's against the Chiefs run D, and the Chiefs run D has been bad. They're better today, but ETN is being more locked down. I think that he could have a big week against the Chiefs. Blake Corum against the Ravens. How about that? He's more of a garbage pickup time, but I think who are they going to punish? They both fumbled, man. Last Thursday, if you remember, and that was tough. I think Corum.
And Corum had a drop pass too. That was for a first down. That would have been a huge play too. I remember. So it's like, I think Kyron's still the main guy there, but yeah, I think Corum. I like that sleeper. That was actually one of my sleepers, actually.
Yeah, Kyron's still the guy there. Wide receiver Ryan Flournoy is, like I mentioned, in the waivers. Ashton Genty, if you stopped starting him, he's a good start against the Titans, clearly. They're a desperate Raiders team. It wouldn't shock me if they blow out the Titans. Emmanuel Wilson for the Pack. I like him against the Bengals this week. I think he's going to get 20% of the carries or so and maybe get some of those garbagey touchdowns that we love so much. Dontavian Wicks as well, of course, against the Bengals is a smart start. Obviously, Jordan Love, anybody and the Packers is a great start. Running back RJ Harvey against the Jets will get some cleanup duties as well. So I like RJ Harvey for Denver. Wide receiver Troy Franklin against the Jets also is nice. Bryce Young, Dave. Yeah. I mean, playing the Cowboys, they're just a terrible defense. Now, they looked better last week, but look who they were playing, the Jets. Who cares? Yeah.
Well, the Jets still put up a good amount of points, too, in the second half, too. Even though it was garbage time, they still put up some points. So definitely get your points against them.
You sure will. And it helps for fantasy. Hassan Haskins against the Dolphins is going to be big, like I said before. Matthew Stafford against the Ravens. Whew. I like Matt Stafford against the Ravens this week. Ravens are freaking terrible and hurting. And, they go into a bye the week after, so why bring their guys back? I think they're just going to rest them again, and which sucks. They're going to lose, but that's life. Not a terrible strike caller. Come on. Jordan Whittingham, wide receiver against the Ravens. I like him. He's going to be big. Dylan Gabriel, Dave, that was a great call against the Steelers. The Steelers' pass D isn't good, and I like Dylan Gabriel, and he's a little bit more elusive, and he can get away from T.J. Watt. Quinshon Judkins against the Steelers should be okay, and wide receiver Jerry Jeudy against the Steelers too. So those are my non-starters, sleepers trending up. Who are yours?
Yeah, I like a lot of yours too. I like the Troy Franklin one. I definitely like that one as well. Marvin Mims too. You haven't heard from him lately, but I like him too. He could have a big game. He's been kind of under the radar this year so far. I like him. I like the Matthew Stafford and Corum. I like both of those guys. The Ravens D is in shambles right now. There's just all the injuries there. I like actually Bryce Young too as well. Flournoy, I like him too. Turpin even actually could be a nice sleeper there too against the Panthers. I like all those guys. I like Dylan Gabriel. Isaiah Bond actually is the receiver I like there too. Like I was just talking about, he's getting more targets week by week, and they literally he was one of those sought after free agents after the draft that no one drafted, but he was supposed to go pretty early in the draft before that too. So a lot of people questioned why he didn't go earlier. Geno Smith, he didn't do too well this past week, but I think he could bounce back against the Titans. He needs to have a good game here.
Good call.
I think this could be a good game for him against the Titans. Actually, I like that. I like the Packers this week. You're already starting Love, but yeah, definitely Dobbs, Wicks, both those guys. Keep an eye on Watson too. He should be coming back now. He's practicing. They opened the practice window on him, so maybe the next 2-3 weeks he should be coming back as well. A guy we didn't mention on the waiver wire that I actually really like this week is Dullen. I think it's AJ Dullen. I forgot his last name, but he actually, all those slot receivers for the Colts have been having good weeks actually. So Dullen actually had a good week this past week, and he has a good matchup against the Cardinals as well. So I like Doolin. I'm sorry, Doolin. Yeah, I like him actually too. He's a guy that we didn't mention in the waiver wire, but he's a guy that's kind of a sleeper this week too. That could actually have a nice, sneaky, good game again. He had a pretty solid game last week as well. So Doolin is a guy that I really like this week as well. RJ Davis could have a nice game against the Falcons, and Algier can have a good game too. Though Bills' defense is bend or break, but they definitely can give up some yards too. So I like that matchup for them this week. Deebo Samuel actually had a nice game this past week. I like him against the Bears. Bears defense is not that as good as I thought they were, but I definitely like that matchup for Deebo this week as well, especially with McLaren out again.
I like Deebo from Friday more. My Noskin. It's oh man, that was a classic movie. Now Deebo Samuel, especially with McLaurin out, Deebo's been a beast. So keep him in mind. He's nice in those situations. So move to bust, Dave, and then I'll give you my bust.
Okay, sounds good. This week I don't like the Giants this week against the Eagles. After that loss, Eagles are going to be coming back pissed off. They're going to be looking to play, and I think they're going to just pound on the Giants. I think Dart could possibly have a decent game, but yeah, that's not looking good with Neighbors out. Then Dart against the rookie against the Eagles D. Yeah, the Eagles have one of the better Ds, I think, too. Jets, I'm definitely downgrading all of them. I don't like Fields this week. Garrett Wilson's still been getting his every week, but even him, I think, is a little shaky against the Broncos. They have some good corners at Surtain there. I think he'll probably be locked on Wilson. So I don't like that matchup either this week. Don't like the Ravens this week, especially if Cooper Rush is playing. All those players are kind of downgraded. It brings Henry down. It brings Zay Flowers down. Cooper Rush really struggled this past week, so I don't like that matchup.
I wrote bench any Raven that's not Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar's probably hurt anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
If
so
Lamar
if Lamar
plays,
plays,
okay. Yeah.
If Lamar plays, then it's a different story. But I think Rush is going to play again. It sounds like so. I don't like that matchup. I don't like the Cardinals against the Colts. Colts have a better defense than people have really been giving them credit for, and that's one of the reasons they've been playing so well too. So, and they have the 4-1. So. Cardinals, Murray's banged up a little bit too. They're on their third string running back, so definitely not starting them against the Colts. I like them. Jaguars actually have a better defense than you think. You saw tonight that pick 6. So,
dude, they've been surviving on turnovers, and it's been good.
Yeah, the Jaguars defense is no joke. Like they're legit. Like so, I'm definitely downgrading the Seahawks this week. I don't like the running backs against them, and I'm probably Darnold even too. I'm downgrading him this week possibly against them as well. So one other team I didn't like this week. I don't like the Bengals against the Packers. I think the Packers D steps up this week. Kind of shows what the kind of defense they are this week against the Bengals. Like I was telling you, Kia, man, I don't like Browning. At the beginning of the year, I thought he was going to be serviceable for Burrow, but he's not. Some of those throws this past week were just horrible. He's way off target. Wasn't even close on a couple of his throws, that like deep throws. They were terrible. Way off. So, yeah, they were horrible.
And he got some garbage time, and so he's actually put up some numbers. But they're thinking about starting Brett Rippon, so just keep that in mind. And I think unfortunately, Jamar Chase actually did score. Thank God for me last week, and it put me in a situation where I'm really close in this league. He's got Butker, which isn't like doing exactly great either. Sam Darnold against the Jags is iffy. It's kind of what I mentioned, Dave. I agree. I think that the Jags defense is underrated. Breece Hall against the Broncos. How about that one?
That's a good one. I didn't think of that one. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't like him either. I said Fields too, but yeah, both of them.
And Wilson. Yeah, so all three of those guys. Jared Goff against the Chiefs is kind of iffy. Yeah, what if you get one of those Lions stinkers because the Chiefs are losing this game and they're going to be pissed? That always can happen. So, keep that in mind. Jalen Warren against the Browns is kind of bad for the Steelers, even though they're coming off the bye. I don't like him or Aaron Rodgers against the Browns. I think the Browns are just all defense, ugly up the game, run the clock, type situation. And
The offense did look better with Dylan Gabriel at the helm, though, and like you said, he's more mobile. He had some nice throws, actually. I think
That's why
every week I think he'll improve a little bit.
That's why I put the Browns on like my list of plays. I think the Browns could beat the Steelers. Really, it's one of those. Of course, the Browns screwed me last week because that garbage last second touchdown. I did it 4.5 at least, so I won my bet, but in the millions it was 3.5. So the books got milled, which is nice. It's funny. I don't have as many busts lately, Dave, because these defenses are so freaking bad this year. I feel, there has just been some suspect defenses, and it even like when you look at some of the better teams, it's like the Ravens. What their defense is terrible now. The Lions.
The injuries killed them.
Yeah. I mean, the only defenses that you can trust are really, the Packers at home. Maybe not on the road so much, but probably the Packers defense. You trust the Houston Texans, but they can't score on offense. The Eagles, yes, I guess kind of. The Jaguars, maybe, but there's still the Jags and the Denver Broncos. Those are the only the Vikings. I'll throw in the Vikings, but dude, that's the only defenses you can trust. I mean, the Chargers are
Steelers too. Steelers are hit or miss, but Steelers are they got the core there and they got Watts. So
Steelers are number 24th. They're number 24th in EPA. Their defense 24th. So I don't know, man. It's just their pass defense has been so bad. Maybe they figured it out.
Defense has struggled.
In the last game we saw was against Carson Wentz. It's like it's hard to figure that out. We got another question from Brendan Miller. Trade Egbuka and Rashad White for Jefferson.
Ooh.
Okay.
You want me to go first? You want
you go first this time.
Okay. I really like Egbuka. Like that's a really tough trade, actually. But like you can't pass up Jefferson though. But now with their quarterback situation, it's tough. But if JJ comes back or if Wentz plays, I really like Jefferson more. So definitely do the trade if they have a quarterback. But if they have their third string guy starting, I think it's Bowser's his name. That's tough, but I think Jefferson's still going to get his even with any quarterback throwing to him. He's still one of the best receivers in the league, so I'd probably do that. Rashard White's not going to keep his job. Bucky Irvin should be back after next week, so Bucky Irvin might be out this week. But after that,
I agree, Dave. You got to get Jefferson. I know Luka's been lighting it up, but what happens when Jalen McMillan comes back? He's not out for a year, right? Mike Evans.
Evans is going to come back too. And Godwin's already back, so in a couple of weeks he's not going to be getting as many targets probably. So I really like him right now.
It's a situation where there's just too many hands to feed. While Jefferson is Jefferson, man. Now I know they have Addison who runs freely as well, but it's Jefferson. Did you see him last week scoring in that last drive? He was just a beast. He's the best receiver in football. Him and Chase are just pretty 1 and 2, man.
Yeah. I go get him probably because like the Tampa Bay is gonna have some guys getting healthy here. So like Evans is gonna come back, like you said, McMillan might be coming back. Godwin's getting healthy now, so there's gonna be more targets.
You're never gonna get more value on Egbuka than you have right now after this week.
Yeah,
it's only go down. It's only gonna go down. And Rashad White is just a handcuff for Bucky Irvin. That's all he is.
Yeah, that's all he is.
You ain't starting him. And Irving's going to be back in 2 weeks. So there you have it. Moving into our nasty sleepers, Dave. Mine's pretty nasty. It's not terribly nasty, but I'm going to go with Kimani Vidal against the Dolphins, Dave. The Dolphins are terrible. That run defense is awful. The Chargers, even though they're banged up, are desperate. And I am worried about their offensive line, but that's why I like Vidal a little bit more to take the catches. And I think he's going to score a couple TDs. I would even play a prop on him for TDs. So that's my sleeper, my nasty one.
That is nasty. I was actually, it was kind of funny actually because I'm going with Hassan Haskins. That's who I had before you even said.
Well, maybe they both do. Maybe it's like a 45-10 route.
I had Haskins already picked up before he even started, so I was like, when you said that, I was like, oh no, but yeah, I went with Haskins, so we'll see which one is the nastier one, but Hassan Haskins is my D-nasty sleeper this week.
I love it. We're on the same team here. I could have picked Geno Smith too, or anybody.
I was looking at him, but he screwed me last week, and like he's so inconsistent. But that was my 1B here was the Geno Smith definitely.
Well, they were playing the Colts last week, so it wasn't. The Colts defense, the Colts are just getting better and better too. They're ranked really high in my power ratings right now. Anything we miss?
I don't think so. Make sure you get those bye week players out and enjoy some good games. Hopefully, there's some good games like this last week, and there's some nice upsets this last week.
Yes, that's right. And hopefully no bad beats like we saw with the disgusting DeMarcado fumble and just the weirdness of that interception fumble going in the end zone of the thing. That was the weirdest freaking game I've ever seen.
Oh my God. That reminded me of Deshaun Jackson back in the day when he did that.
John Taylor dropped it too last year, and last week another Colts, what Mitchell did it. It's dude, go through the back of the end zone before you do it. That's what I say. Just run through the back of the end zone, and then do whatever you want. So look at that as your end zone line. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you have any questions for us, feel free to tweet us at the Oddsbreakers, email us at info@theoddsbreakers.com. Have a great rest of your week and go get some winners.